a question was brought up, another thing that affects this economy that I think is interesting. It's somewhat tangential and is worth talking about in this context. Is the impact of the wild system, the wild card system on deck diversity on Arena. On the one hand, it feels sweet that even the most powerful, most busted, most expensive paper mythics and rares are the same wildcard cost on Arena. But the problem with that is that everybody gravitates to the most powerful cards, and people aren't crafting bulk rares when they could be crafting a $50 mythic instead, right? So one of the problems with the wildcard system and the dust system in general is that it doesn't create budget decks. There's no such thing as a budget deck, and so everybody just gravitates to the most powerful thing they can do instead of saying, well, this isn't the most powerful thing I can do, but since it's super cheap to do it and super fun, I'm going to go ahead and get these cards too and do this fun thing on the side. Yeah, it really hurts brewers, and it's really painful to be like, oh, I want to kind of try this out, but I have to use a mythic wild card to see if this thing has any play whatsoever. We talked about different ways to mitigate that. One of the ways to mitigate it, besides changing your whole economic system and basically introducing a marketplace, that was an option though, right? One of the things you could do is, instead of a wild card system, imagine it's a dust system, but the dust auto level, the dust cost of a given card goes up or down based on its popularity in the system. So you actually do represent a secondary market within your game. So what you could do is like say, all right, for each set, we're going to say that the total dust, the total dust cost of every rare in the set needs to add up to 10,000. And we're going to use this algorithm to determine the popularity of a given card and determine what percentage of the $10,000 pool, or the 10,000 point pool of crafting resource is going to be needed for this card versus another one. On the one hand, that solves the problem of, it creates bulk rares and more reflects the real world system, but that's a tricky algorithm to come up with, and it's a lot of work to design that system, and it's not very elegant for players, and it creates a new stress on players. Like, it creates this kind of the stress we're feeling now about suddenly hearing about 2x wildcards. So the stress it puts on you as a player of the system in that world is like, the cost of acquiring this card may go up or down. The cost of acquiring, should I buy that thing now for however much currency, or should I wait till the price drops? Or, so it just sets you up for the regrets of an economy, and it again puts people in a position where they're spending a lot of time in this game outside of where you want them to be, which is on the battlefield. So there are, like a lot of design issues, you can come up with solutions, you can come up with alternatives, but most of them have something else that you have to give up in order to pull it off. And that's why design is hard, and that's why designers get paid, because there's really tough decisions to make on that kind of thing. So there's other things you can do. One more thing I'll mention on that is like you can make prizes out of bulk rares. Like they could make a class of cards that they know about that basically don't see a lot of play, and give them out more freely in some Brewers event. Like, make a Brewers event that says like this event is going to be like this. So you come in and do this constructed event, but instead of 3 uncommons here, or certainly so you can see, instead of like the 3 uncommons that you would get here, you could instead change these to 3 bulk rares, right? Like, you're going to get 3 rares that nobody is playing much of. So it's a way for brewers to come and get and fill it out. But they probably don't want to do that either, because it helps people 4x. Anyway, it's a complicated question. I'm just trying to show you the types of things designers think about when approaching a problem and trying to come up with a system that solves it.